Ascites is present when there is accumulation of free fluid in the peritoneal cavity. The pathophysiology of ascites is in case of cirrhosis, there is decreased clearance of the metabolites by the liver, which includes nitric oxide. These are acting as vasodilators which cause splanchnic vasodilation that leads to accumulation of more and more fluid in the splanchnic circulation. This further leads to shifting of blood from the systemic circulation to the splanchnic or the visceral type of the circulation. Secondarily, it leads to the activation of renin-angiotensin system because there is decreased fluid in the systemic circulation. The other mechanisms included are portal hypertension and hypoproteinemia due to decreased synthetic activity of the liver. To rule out different causes, we have to perform some investigations. First, to detect the presence of ascites, we have to perform some imaging techniques like ultrasonography. Second and most important investigation is the serum ascites albumin gradient, that is SAAG. Now, depending upon the value of this gradient, which is actually the subtraction of the amount of albumin present in serum versus in the ascitic fluid. After the tapping of the ascitic fluid, this concentration of albumin is going to determine the cause of the ascites. The value is going to determine the cause. If it is greater than 1.1 gram per deciliter, this could be transudative type of ascites, which is mostly present in case of cirrhosis. It could also be secondarily to some condition like cardiac failure, hypoproteinemia. This could be due to either protein losing enteropathy or due to malnutrition, that is in decreased intake of the protein. There could be some hepatic venous occlusion like Budd-Chiari syndrome or sinusoidal obstruction syndrome. There could be Meeks syndrome or constructive carditis. If there is decreased in the SAAG value, that is less than 1.1 gram per deciliter, it is the exudative type of the ascites, which means there is increased concentration of protein in the ascitic fluid as compared to the serum. This is most probably related to some inflammatory conditions like acute pancreatitis, lymphatic obstruction, or infection like tuberculosis and nephrotic syndrome, and some malignant disease like hepatic and peritoneal carcinomas. Some rare causes of this exudative type of ascites include hypothyroidism. Now coming to the management, the first and foremost advice you are going to give to the patient is the decreased water and sodium intake. We are going to counsel the patient for sodium and water restriction because simply there is increased fluid in the body, so we want to decrease the intake. Second is the diuretics. The logic behind the diuretics is that you want to clear more and more of fluid of the body to decrease the ascitic fluid. Ultimately, the first diuretic you are going to give is the spironolactone. It is the first line drug because it is a powerful aldosterone antagonist. It is not only going to have a diuretic effect, it is also going to inhibit the increased aldosteronism effect. Some conditions you can also use furosemide. The third thing is the paracentesis, which is actually the ascitic fluid tap. It is the first line treatment of refractory ascites in large volume paracentesis. Then is the TIPS, which stands for transjugular intrahepatic portosystemic stent shunt. It can relieve the resistant ascites but does not prolong life. The definitive treatment of ascites is the liver transplant.